So I'm Lockie Barnes from Lely. I'm a commercial product specialist. I joined Lely in December last year and have really enjoyed my time here. Previously, I've worked in the industry for over 10 years in various roles, from sales, compliance, agronomy. I think I've got a background in dairy, which has really helped me step into the role, but also such an exciting place to work and so much technology that, every day's a school day at the moment too.
Craig Stokes. I run Lely Center Tasmania with my wife Sheree, and we've been Lely Center for 17 years. Currently looking after about 60 machines, and just really looking forward to a future where family farms get to exist in a world where they have a bit of freedom.
Dennis Phillips, Lely Center, Fleurieu Peninsula in South Australia. I'm a dairy farmer's kid and very rural focused. We moved off the family farm into electrical contracting, where I grew my business and built my rural tyres and the rural electrical. Loving that we're growing the robots and appreciating the benefits that it brings to the rural community.
Today's conversation's not really about Lely Australia. It's about Lely being a locally focused company. And while we're Lely International, we've got 50,000 milking robots internationally. The heart of that is really having a good link to the local community. And Dennis Phillips and Craig Stokes both run local businesses in South Australia and Tasmania respectively. And I think that really is the heart and soul of Lely, which is a family company, also being a locally focused company that has really been a big part of the success. I'll even leave the intro there, guys, and see if you've got anything to riff off in terms of that introduction. Does that resonate with you too?
Oh, I think very much so. Like it's really, I mean, Lely's huge and they're big, but without the local content, they're chopped off at the knees kind of thing. So it's good being part of something huge, but that's the huge is just lots of local.
Yep. The farmers sort of they recognise and trust the local, the peer in it. I come from a farmer's background, a dairy farmer's kid. Yep. So I've been in the electrical business, working rural for a while. So I've earned my stars sort of that way, and that's how my journey ended up into Lely.
So is that a bit of the reason, like we do say Lely's international, but local matters is a big thing in terms of that. I think rural communities really realise when somebody knows what they're talking about and has got some expertise to deliver, but is there also something more to that in terms of understanding local communities, where people are coming from, understanding their businesses, what make them tick? Do you think that in any way changes, just because you two guys being local and the guys you employ being local, changes your approach or gives you another, angle to work with that wouldn't otherwise happen if you were just purely coming from an outsider coming in point of view?
Well, the Lely's focus is the family farm, and family farms generally are community-based. So the more community-based you are, the more connection you have with our clientele, and it grows from that. Community involvement develops community trust.
And when you start working with families on family farms, you get to know mum and dad and the kids and what the kids like to do on the weekends, and you end up, to the kids, you end up more like Uncle Craig or Uncle Phil or whoever you are, because you know everybody in the family, you know the dogs, you know half the names of the cows, it goes way past, customer client. It becomes so much more than that.
Yeah. So if we were selling a product, guys, or servicing a product that was a little bit more transactional, maybe get away with that. Do you reckon just the nature of Lely products needing to be involved in that business, how do you think that interplays with the aspect we're talking about there, because while it comes naturally to a lot of us, it is an effort, and it's not a straight out money making thing for them to be, you to know the name of the dog doesn't pay the bills, and it's not the only reason you do it. But how do you think just the nature of our products and the nature of our service may sort of be impacted by the relationships you guys are talking about?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot to it. There's a lot at stake when somebody says, I'm going to second mortgage my farm to back your product, your expertise, and your trust. That's a huge weight of responsibility. And unless you're willing to take that on in all its forms, responsibility for delivering the project, maintaining the equipment, and looking after the family, because sometimes it goes sideways. And if you're not in it for the right reasons, you get shown up pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I really think that, as much as some farmers would say, gee, you guys are committed, compared to the commitment that they have to make to get us on the farm, for some of those families, it's like, it's huge. And I think we undervalue that sometimes.
That's an interesting way to put it. I mean, just to take that somewhere, Dennis, it sounds like a big responsibility on your guys' shoulders in terms of you realise what's the commitment they're taking on. But obviously, to get them to commit back to you, I guess you've got to provide a level of confidence that they're not thinking this is a big deal. Is there any ways, like in employment or your initial conversations with people, or before you've really got in that groove, that you are able to, I guess, give people the confidence that, Dennis Phillips or Craig Stokes is going to be here in 15 years' time when we've, an O-ring's gone? How do you sort of work that into that relationship that, I am going to invest because I know Dennis is going to be there for me?
I'm a bit lucky in that I've developed a relationship through a different, from my other business, my first business, my other business. But it's a long-term relationship, and when we sell the robots, we're selling the long-term relationship as well. So with the sale, you're ensuring that they know we're here for the long haul. We're here for the duration of the investment.
And there's no shortcut.
No.
Like if you're not genuine in reciprocating the responsibility and the level of commitment, mate, farmers, they see through you. Like you're either up for it or you're not. And I reckon that I'd hate to think that a farmer would look at me and say, "Hey, I'm more committed than Craig," because to me that's just that just stinks. Yeah. And so if I'm reciprocating the level of commitment he's showing me, then we both committed to the same level.
Yep.
And I think that willingness to lay it on the line, because he is, like, if he's investing in a robot dairy, he's laying it on the line.
Yeah.
And so he's expecting you to bring the same thing to the party. And I think, if we're not up for it, then, it's probably time for a career change.
And I'd add to that myself and my team aren't in it for the money.
No.
Necessarily. We're here for the the relationship, the investment, and the success. I'd probably spend, when I make it onto a farm, I probably spend half my time just talking about everything else except for the technical side of things. Like, we really 9 times out of 10 when I'm on site, it's 50% is the technical side of it, doing what I actually got called up to do, and the next 50% is talking about the cows, the pasture, and how the cows are acting and stuff like that.
So you guys,
and sometimes it's the football.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you guys understand that, and this is your business, and this is where you come from. So bringing new people on board, how do you, whether it be a farmer, whether it be a new employee, whether it be somebody who's just sending out the invoices, is there some way you instill that? Is that you're leading by example? Is there a specific conversation? How do you know that the person you're going to bring on is going to get it? Because, it's hard to write in a job description. You've got to be as committed as, the person you're selling this to. And, if you're still dairy farming in 2025, let's face it, you're committed. Is there any way you sort of instill that in the people you're surrounding yourself with?
That's a big question.
It's you can't find it straight away. It develops. You just work hard at developing a good culture within your team. Make sure they've got a bit of community minded is a great step forward. The feedback from the customers generally dictates how long that new employee, I guess, lasts.
Yeah. I'd echo that 100%, Dennis. Like, that's, unless your staff are willing to go to the end, you don't want. And that sounds terrible. Yeah. But that's the reality. Like, if you as the business owner or the business manager or, the service advisor, whatever it is, if your crew doesn't match your commitment level, it becomes pretty obvious pretty quick that something's not quite right. And then it's like, then how do you manage that?
Yeah.
Because you want that level of commitment.
In a way, it's a nice filter for culture too, though, isn't it, guys? In terms of once they're there, you know that they've bought in, you know that it's something intrinsic happening. But in terms of just looking at a new employee, and, anecdotally, you see a lot of ex-farmers in here. You see a lot of people that had a variety of businesses. You see people that are young and keen and coming in and asking lots of curious questions. Like, is there something you can kind of talk about towards people's local roots or their farming background or something where you think, look, I reckon this is going to be a better bet just based on the black and white career history, that you think this guy's worth a punt or this lady's worth a punt?
Most times, I'm looking at where they come from and more their personal life than their career life, life values, life experiences. So generally, I'm looking. I like to know what sort of sport they play. I guess their community values, and if they've got rural history, that all plays in, and that they are going to be on the right step to be in the right fit, and then time and experience in the business team gives you the rest.
Yeah. You can't train attitude. You know what I mean? You can teach skills, but you can't train attitude. You either got the right attitude or you haven't got the right attitude.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
And like, if you've got 90% the right attitude, then the 10% can be coached. But if you're a 50-50 guy, you can never get the other 50. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And so unless your attitude's right, like Cherie says to me, that's my wife, she says, you can train for aptitude, but you can't train for attitude.
Yeah.
And so if somebody's coming in with the wrong attitude, the farmer rings up, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, the farmer's screaming because the dairy's not working. If the guy on the other end of the phone screams back at the farmer because he's broken his beauty sleep, you're gone. You know what I mean? Like, when you answer that phone and the farmer's on the other end and he's in a bind, he wants somebody on the other end of the phone that's like, okay, I get it. Have you tried this? Yep, right, okay. I'm getting changed. I'll be there in 30 minutes. You know? And if your crew's got that attitude, even when they get to the job, if it takes a bit longer or it goes a bit sideways, the fact is they dropped everything and came to help. And that's what the farmers, when they're ringing you, they've tried what they can try. They're at their wits' end. And they're calling for help.
Yes.
They're calling for somebody to help them. And you've got to say, I'm hearing you.
Yep.
Just by your tone in your voice and your attitude.
Yeah.
And then be actually willing to back that up with action. Yep, I'm loading up gear and I'm on the way.
Yeah. Someone's on the way. So it's that understanding you're talking about, not just, I know how this machine runs and I reckon I know how you should run this business. It's that understanding of, okay, if you're ringing me at 3 a.m. in the morning, I understand enough about this business and I understand enough about the commitment we've made when we sold you the robot. I understand the commitment you've made in terms of a dairy farmer that these cows can't wait too long to be milked. And I understand, the ongoing impacts of getting something as crucial as milking a cow wrong. And Lely's put a lot of, I guess, time and effort into talking about things like free flow cow traffic and let the cow do its own thing, which I guess also puts our reputation then on the line of that we are going to not just understand your business and help you get that business going, but if you are ringing at 3 a.m., how do we get that service through? I guess you guys being the business owner can understand that, and I guess it's just that if it was just up to you two sitting here, we've got full confidence in that. Like, I guess, how do we instill that in our guys? Do you think it's just the nature of this business that drives that then passion they're in or they're out, or is there something you think that you see in people or you train into people? And I know you said you can't train attitude, but you can probably make something obvious to people so they are picking up what you're putting down. How do you go about that sort of, you say you can't train it, but there must be something you're doing, saying, leading in that sort of distills this? Because if I'm working for, I was almost going to name of a different company or something then, like, some of those menial jobs you do, you haven't got buy-in. What I'm doing is I'm coming and I'm serving time and you're going to pay me for that and I'm going home. This is a different thing we're talking about. This is, I know you're a dairy farmer. I know how crucial whatever this problem's going to be, and I know the ongoing impacts of that. If I'm walking in, I guess from a farming background, I might have that in me. How do you make that obvious to your people on sort of day one, day two?
Work with them. Generally, I lost my words there. But generally, just work with them, be with them, be with them on the journey. Don't leave them hanging. Don't throw them under a bus. And it works itself out. And the right person stays and fits. The wrong person, you pivot. You move them to a different area of the business if you can, and the customer facing people have to have the similar values. There is four people in relationship. It's the self, farmer, cows, and robots. And they all have to get on. And there's several different ways of doing it, but generally, when it works, and those ones stay, and you pivot the ones that don't to a different area.
Yeah, it's a funny thing trying to teach that sort of attitude or try and coach it. Like everybody runs their business slightly different because all our businesses are slightly different. But for me, one of my philosophies that I got from my dad was never ask your staff to do something you wouldn't do yourself or haven't done already.
Agreed.
And so, like if you can't say to your staff, hey, I want you guys to go on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I'm not going to go on call. Because they look at that and they go, dude, that's a cop-out. You want me to not go out Saturday night with my mates at the football, but you go out every Saturday night with your mates to the football. So you've really got to lead by example. Like that's a really old-fashioned thing to say, lead by example.
Yeah.
But it's 100% true. Like if we
unbelievably true.
Yeah, we are pretty heavily involved with a campsite down in Circular Head for underprivileged kids. And there's a sign up as you walk in the front door, and it says on the sign, a good leader is the one who knows the way and shows the way.
Yeah.
And if you want to lead a crew that commit like you do, you've got to show them you're committed as well. And again, it's such an old-fashioned thing to say, but If your workers see you go out to the call out in the middle of the night, no complaint, you turn up at work the next morning at the same time they do, they go, righto, well, that's the expectation.
Agreed.
And he's doing it.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm buying in, or I'm not. And so you pretty quickly work out your staff will either step up to the plate and start swinging with you, or they're going to run and hide in the dugout.
Mm.
And the ones that run and hide in the dugout, you got to shift them sideways or shift them on.
Yep.
And the guys that slug with you at the plate, you got to look after them because they're few and far between nowadays.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
you got to move. You do whatever it takes to keep working on that. And like we were saying before, elbow, side by side, in it together.
Working together is
Yep.
definitely the way.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I said we're having a casual conversation. It feels like we've dug deep into some pretty hardcore philosophy, guys. I might try and sort of wind it up just with a couple of thoughts. And I reckon the most important one for us, and it really resonated with me, Dennis, when you're sort of saying those building blocks of your business are, do my staff care about the cows?
Yep.
Fortunately, cows can't tell you if they like your staff, but
The
next one is the farmer. You can check, and there's ways to know about that. And maybe you want to touch on that as well, but what really floats your boat in terms of you're walking down the street and someone's talking about your business or a member of your staff? What are some of the words you want to hear a farmer say, or is generally floating through the community about your business and you personally? Yeah.
I had so and so over the farm and he solved my problems.
That's a beautiful thing to hear because oftentimes you don't always get called first. Oftentimes you've had somebody else who can't fix their problems. And when you go in and fix their problems, there's a level of satisfaction of being able to pull off something that nobody else could. And there's a huge satisfaction level in that. And the other one, I love it when a farmer says to me, especially about my staff,
Yeah.
they look at you in the eye and they go, geez, they're good workers.
You got to rip
Because farmers, they work. They
Yeah.
work their butt off. They've worked their butt off to get their farm, to get to where they are. And when your staff turn up and they work hard and the farmer says, geez, they're hard workers,
Yep.
there's a real, it fills me with, I've got to say, a bit of pride.
Yeah.
It's like when your kids do something really good, and your kids don't always do stuff good, like sometimes it's downright embarrassing. But when your staff perform and you get that feedback from the farmer, it makes me feel like a proud parent.
A lot of pride. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that they are family.
Yep.
Yeah.
As painful as it comes out, but they are family.
That might have been a good way to end, but I already had a question in my mind. So hopefully you end as well again. Otherwise, Jack will cut it, so it doesn't matter. So just in terms of you guys run an independent business and you've got local roots down, but it is tied to the Lely and the Lely brand. Do you think there's anything that Lely do or intrinsic in Lely that helps you hear those good things about your business, or you're getting backed up in all those things we've discussed around local roots, employing people that understand and have, I'm going to use a softer word like empathy. I'm looking at two hardcore looking blokes here. I know it's a sound medium, but it's probably not a word they hear a lot. But at the deeper meaning, that's what you're talking about, is that understanding of somebody else. So is there anything working, running a business that is highly aligned to a company like Lely, does that help you in some of this stuff we've been discussing?
Our values are aligned.
Yeah.
Lely's values emanate from nature, so to speak. It's about free flow traffic. It's about the cows. It's about animals, and it's nature.
Yes.
The closer we get back to nature and stop fighting nature, the better we're off.
Yeah. Empathy, flow, Dennis. Yeah. You're a hard-looking man, but geez, you've got some good words. Great.
Yeah.
No, I shouldn't have said that because now you're going to be really worried about me.
No. Look, Lely's a family business too.
Yes.
My business is a family business.
Yeah.
Dennis's business is a family business. Most of the farmers we deal with, they're family businesses.
Yep.
And so there's certain things that family businesses do different to corporate businesses. I mean, Lely's a huge business.
Yep.
But hey, I can have a beer at the bar with the owner of Lely International, and he'll have a chat with me. He knows who I am. He knows where my Lely Center is, and you don't get that in every company that you deal with.
No.
And I've seen Alexander do stuff just because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And if you're in a family business, sometimes you do things just because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make you money, doesn't earn you brownie points, but it's the right thing to do. And I like working with Lely because I've got to be honest, in all my dealings with them, they do the right thing. And that's sometimes bad for them,
Correct.
but it's still the right thing to do. And
Yeah.
that's why I like working with Lely.
Their core values are aligned.
Yep.
I guess is a good way of
Yep.
finishing.
Well, thanks. That's great. I got a lot out of that.